Today, we explore the key global events shaping our world. From a deadly mosque attack in California to escalating tensions in Ukraine, these stories are crucial. We'll also discuss a significant Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Here are today's top 10 stories you need to know. On May 19, 2026, a tragic shooting incident occurred at a mosque in San Diego, California. This shocking event resulted in the deaths of 5 individuals, including 3 victims and 2 suspects. The attack has left the local community reeling and raised concerns about safety in places of worship. Authorities quickly responded, establishing a security perimeter and launching an investigation to determine the motives behind this heinous act. The shooting comes amid heightened tensions surrounding religious communities in the United States. Officials are now calling for increased security measures to protect vulnerable spaces. The incident has sparked a national conversation about gun violence and the need for comprehensive reform. As the investigation unfolds, community leaders are urging solidarity and support for those affected. The aftermath of this tragedy will likely influence discussions about religious tolerance and safety in public spaces moving forward. A significant health crisis is unfolding in the Democratic Republic of Congo as authorities report a new Ebola outbreak. An American medical missionary tested positive for the virus, raising alarm among public health officials. 5 deaths have been confirmed in connection with this outbreak, leading to an urgent response from international health organizations. The last major outbreak in the region highlighted the challenges of containing the virus, particularly in densely populated areas. Health experts are mobilizing resources and personnel to combat the spread. Vaccination campaigns are being accelerated to protect individuals at risk. The situation is critical as the potential for further infections looms. This outbreak serves as a reminder of the ongoing threats posed by infectious diseases in the region. Global health authorities are monitoring the situation closely, emphasizing the need for effective containment measures. Public awareness campaigns are also being launched to educate communities about prevention and early detection. As the war in Ukraine continues, recent developments indicate a significant escalation in hostilities. Russian forces have intensified their barrages, targeting various regions across Ukraine. President Zelensky commented on the situation, emphasizing that the world's attention has shifted, emboldening Russian aggression. Despite this, Ukraine's forces have shown resilience, managing to hold ground against the larger Russian military. The conflict has seen a notable shift, with Ukrainian troops recently reclaiming some territories lost in previous months. As international attention fluctuates, the Ukrainian government is calling for increased military aid from allies to sustain their defense efforts. The situation remains fluid, with reports of heavy fighting along the front lines. The potential for peace talks continues to be a topic of discussion, but the reality on the ground complicates these negotiations. The international community is watching closely as the conflict evolves, with implications for global security and stability. In a continuation of the ongoing war, Russian military actions have intensified across various fronts in Ukraine. Recent reports indicate that Russian forces have intercepted and destroyed a significant number of Ukrainian drones, showcasing their military capabilities. The Institute for the Study of War has noted that Russia's recent offensive has floundered, leading to their first net loss of territory since 2024. This change in momentum is crucial, as it demonstrates the evolving dynamics of the conflict. Ukrainian forces are adapting their strategies in response to Russian tactics, highlighting the complexities of this war. The international community remains concerned about the humanitarian impact of these military actions. As casualties rise and infrastructure is damaged, calls for peace and dialogue grow louder. The focus now shifts to how both sides will respond in the coming weeks, as the potential for escalation remains high. Observers are closely monitoring the situation, seeking signs of possible de-escalation or renewed conflict. In recent developments, Israel announced the killing of a key Hamas military leader, known as one of the architects behind the October 7th attacks. This action underscores Israel's ongoing efforts to dismantle Hamas's military capabilities. The operation was met with mixed reactions, with supporters praising the security measures and critics questioning the methods used. This targeted strike is part of a broader strategy by Israel to eliminate threats to its national security. The Palestinian community has expressed outrage, citing the loss of life and the humanitarian impact of such military actions. The international community is watching closely as tensions continue to rise in the region. Calls for restraint are being made by various global leaders, emphasizing the need for a peaceful resolution. The situation remains volatile, with further military responses anticipated. As Israel continues its operations, the potential for escalation remains a pressing concern for all parties involved. Tensions are escalating between the U.S. and Iran as recent intelligence reports reveal critical information regarding military movements. The U.S. government has been closely monitoring Iran's activities, particularly concerning its nuclear program, which has long been a source of international concern. Diplomatic efforts, including negotiations aimed at reviving the 2015 nuclear deal, have faced significant setbacks. The Iranian government has reacted strongly to U.S. sanctions imposed in recent years, which have severely impacted its economy and complicated negotiations. As both nations navigate this complex relationship, the possibility of military confrontation looms larger. American officials are advocating for a diplomatic resolution while simultaneously preparing for potential military options, signaling a dual approach to managing the crisis. The situation is fluid, with both sides making strategic moves that could alter the balance of power in the region. The international community is increasingly alarmed, as these developments could destabilize the Middle East. Moving forward, effective dialogue will be crucial in preventing an escalation that threatens not only regional but also global security. As the world grapples with economic uncertainties, recent data has highlighted growing concerns about inflation and supply chain disruptions affecting numerous sectors. These challenges have been exacerbated by the lingering effects of the pandemic and geopolitical tensions, prompting economists to warn that they could lead to a prolonged economic downturn if not addressed promptly. Central banks worldwide are under increasing pressure to adjust interest rates, as rapid inflation threatens consumer purchasing power and savings. Businesses are feeling the strain as well, with many reporting difficulties in maintaining inventory levels due to shipping delays and rising costs. This situation is increasingly impacting consumers who are witnessing significant price hikes for essential goods from food to fuel. Governments are being urged to implement targeted measures to stabilize their economies and provide relief to those most affected by these economic pressures. With stock indices showing heightened volatility in response to these developments, analysts predict that decisive interventions will be critical. Looking ahead, the focus will be on innovative policies that can effectively restore economic stability and foster growth. China has announced significant changes to its economic policy as it seeks to boost growth amid global economic challenges. The government aims to increase domestic consumption and reduce reliance on exports, marking a pivotal shift from traditional strategies that focused heavily on manufacturing and export-driven growth. This transition is particularly crucial as China grapples with slowing economic growth and rising debt levels. Analysts are optimistic about these changes, suggesting they could lead to a more sustainable economic model that prioritizes consumer spending over external demand. However, concerns linger regarding potential impacts on international trade relationships, especially with major partners like the United States and the European Union. The adjustment comes at a time when China is facing pressures from both domestic and international fronts, including trade tensions and a recovering post-pandemic economy. As the world's second-largest economy, these policy changes will have far-reaching implications, influencing not only China's economic landscape but also global markets. The future of China's economy is at a crossroads, and the decisions made now will shape its trajectory, with a focus on fostering long-term stability and resilience. Tensions surrounding Iran's nuclear program have escalated dramatically in recent days, as the U.S. has raised serious concerns about Iran's advancements in its nuclear capabilities. This escalation has prompted urgent responses from the international community, with key players expressing alarm over the potential for a nuclear-armed Iran. The backdrop to this crisis includes the 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which aimed to limit Iran's nuclear ambitions in exchange for sanctions relief. However, the U.S. withdrawal from the agreement in 2018 has left a significant void in diplomatic efforts. As a result, various nations are now calling for renewed negotiations to ensure that Iran adheres to international agreements, emphasizing the need for a unified approach. The implications of a nuclear-armed Iran extend beyond its borders, potentially destabilizing the region and prompting neighboring countries to reconsider their security strategies and military postures. Analysts are closely monitoring the evolving situation, anticipating possible moves from both Iran and the U.S. The coming weeks will be critical in determining the direction of this tense standoff, with the potential for significant shifts in geopolitical dynamics and regional alliances as stakeholders seek to navigate this complex landscape. The war in Ukraine has reached a pivotal point as Russian forces intensify their military operations. Recent reports indicate a significant increase in drone attacks targeting Ukrainian infrastructure, including energy facilities and transportation hubs, with the potential for widespread devastation. This escalation is seen as a strategic move by Russia to undermine Ukraine's resilience. The Ukrainian government, led by President Zelensky, has been vocal about the urgent need for international support to counter these new aggressions effectively. The situation is dire as the humanitarian crisis deepens with each passing day. Civilians are bearing the brunt of the conflict, facing severe shortages of food, water, and medical supplies, leading to rising casualties and displacement. The international community is urged to act swiftly, providing both humanitarian aid and advanced military assistance to Ukraine. While diplomatic discussions continue, the reality on the ground complicates efforts for peace and stability. As the conflict escalates, the global implications of this war become increasingly pronounced, with nations reassessing their geopolitical strategies. The potential for broader conflict looms, particularly as alliances shift in response to the crisis. In the coming weeks, critical decisions will be made that will shape the future of Ukraine and its fight for sovereignty, as well as the security landscape in Europe. Thank you for joining us today. Which story shocked you the most? Please let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.